Hi everybody, this is Brother Jonas of Brothers of Fire.
You're joined by Brother Stebo.
And the two of us have got together because we're here to open this special booster pack of Spectral Chaos, which has been sent to us by Micah, aka Raging River.
Now, as a reminder, these are really sweet cards, and this is Micah's amazing fan project. And these are not actual real old school cards, but just some incredible fan-inspired cards.
Yeah, exactly. And they give us an insight into Barry Reich's view of what an expansion could have looked like back from 93 to 95. So it's a fascinating window into Magic history. So without further ado, let's pop this puppy open. I haven't opened some old school product in quite a long time, so it's very exciting.
You see you trembling a bit there, Jonas.
Left my latex gloves at home. Oh, it's a mountain. Those of you who know me well will know that's basic land that's close to my heart.
Very fitting first card. Beautiful. Yep. I love the colours on the border. That's a really nice sort of psychedelic colours there.
Yeah, these are just fan tribute cards, but they already feel pretty nice to hold. So that's a nice one straight out the pack.
All right, mountain in the books.
Ooh, Stebo, what do we got here?
So this is Goblin Foresters for a red. It's a 1/1, and it's a bit almost like an Orcish Lumberjack or something. It's tap, sack a forest, and you add 2 hearth manas of either black or red.
No, I think it's like you add 2 black or 2 red, or a black and a red.
Okay.
So it's like you get to choose, yeah. And the Chaos history, it's unclear whether this colour-shifted version of Ice Age's Orcish Lumberjack would have ended up as a goblin or an orc.
Well, there you go. Sort of foresaw. I hadn't even read that far down. That's fascinating.
Yeah. So it's a bit of a sneak preview of Orcish Lumberjack. I guess that would be useful for powering out a Dark Ritual or a Jazam.
Unlike Orcish Lumberjack, I love the art here. It's sort of darker in tone.
Yeah,
Lumberjack's a bit more sort of comedy chainsaw.
Looks like it could be in the dark. All right, next card up is Natural Defences. It's an instant for a green and a white, and target creature gets +1/+X until end of turn, where X is its toughness.
That's interesting.
It seems like is it better than Righteousness?
It's it's better than Righteousness in that it's not just a blocker, right? But you're not getting that big +7 up front for doing some damage.
I don't think that's the most overpowered card we're going to see today.
That seems solid though. Solid addition.
I would say Giant Growth is better, and it's Giant Growth is just green.
I mean, this is a Brothers Highlander playable. I think that's how I'd describe it.
That's a nice way of putting it.
No one's putting that in their own Armageddon deck.
Okay, but nevertheless, nice art. Okay, what have we got up next?
This is Ghost Rider. So white and 2 for a 2 and a 1 flying first strike. Night Spirit, a bit like a sort of echoing a core or something from the Wrath cycle. And Chaos history, a similar design appeared in Legends as Thunder Spirit. And I'm afraid to say, like Thunder Spirit, Ghost Rider's probably not that playable, but some beautiful flavour there. And yeah, another thing, I suppose if you were building like maybe a white sort of singleton sort of deck, singleton constructed or something, could be useful there.
I've got a soft spot for Thunder Spirit, and I think the double white is what holds it back. The lack of a toughness isn't that much of a deal when you've got the first strike, but yeah, looking at it now, it does feel a bit underpowered.
I think it'd be in white weenie, or I mean, I'd love this if you were playing like a blue-white, kind of like blue-white skies singleton or something. That would be a slam dunk.
Yeah, and strong in limited.
Exactly.
Okay, next up we've got Mystic Spirit. It's a creature. It's a spirit for 2, a white and a blue. Mystic Spirit gets +1/+1 for each enchantment on the battlefield. It's fabulous artwork. It looks a bit like the Kiss, doesn't it?
Or Rebecca Guay or something.
Yeah, Rebecca Guay,
Yeah. That's. I mean, I suppose those are 2 colours, blue and white. You can have some really strong enchantments, like you've got Moat, potentially like Energy Flux,
Crusade.
Yeah, you've got some useful stuff that could go together with this one.
It's a shame it doesn't go with Vigilant Enchantress. Feels. It's a shame its base is 0/0. For me there, I think if it was 2/2 to begin with, I could see that. Yeah, I think that's niche at best.
Yeah, it's probably a bit too narrow, as you say.
Yeah, I mean, if Rabid Wombat isn't playable, and that then then I think this struggles to be as well.
Oh, there we go.
but interesting card to see anyway, and beautiful artwork.
Yeah, right, let's move on to the next one. And this is Enrage. Again, incredible artwork there.
This is great art.
And so a single black, enchantment aura, so an enchant creature. Doesn't actually do anything initially, but for a blue, you can pump its power and minus its toughness.
Kind of mini immolation.
Mm.
It reminds me of Essence Flare in Ice Age. Which
Yeah,
is,
it's really similar.
Enchant creature for 1 blue. I think it gets +2/+0, but then gets a -0/-1 counter. So you can use it to boost your dude or kill someone else's.
I like the flavour that this isn't like a gold card, but it has that, it clearly is working within the two colours. And I mean, like black and blue cards, seeing how they interact, those two colours, is really interesting. But I mean, let's just not take nothing away. I mean, that's stunning artwork.
Yeah,
that sort of drowning.
It looks like a real set with this artwork, which obviously it isn't, but it certainly like adds to the appeal.
That's amazing.
Okay, this next one, Sidewinder. 5 and a blue for a 5/5 creature, which is a snake, and it's got Plains Home, so it can't attack. So it's a bit like Sea Serpent, really, but it's got Plains Home instead of Island Home.
The Sidewinder sleeps tonight.
Indeed. Yeah. That's interesting. I mean, I guess I like the flavour, the idea that it has to like slither across the plains to kind of get to where it needs to go.
It's something you maybe in a limited deck, maybe you'd stick it in there. It's probably not. I mean, it's clearly. I mean, that's like something you might draft. It's not for constructed use. But yeah, it's cool. It's nice to see a Sea Serpent sort of reimagined and slightly sort of tweaked in some way. And again, I guess this is you've got to be in blue and white, so sort of narrowing your options again.
All right, next up we have. Oh, this is a big one.
Thorgar the Huge. Wow, for red and 4. So Thorgar is a giant, obviously, a huge giant. So this is, I think, might be our first uncommon as well. Looking at the comparing it to Sidewinder. Yeah, we might be onto the uncommons now. So Thorgar, 4/4 giant. Whenever Thorgar the Huge blocks or is blocked by a wall, destroy that wall at end of combat. So very much in the Legends theme of sort of slightly niche abilities, but that's cool. So smashes down walls. And naturally, you can also tap for 1 mana of any colour.
That's a very Legendsy ability.
Yeah.
Just Lucretia-esque.
Yeah, I love it. Sort of Riven Turnbull, but sort of down the gym. So Chaos History, this was the name of character Alpha playtester Scaphalias created during D&D campaigns. So it's a bit like an Alcor's Tomb / Tome and all that sort of stuff. I love it.
I can tell me because I sense he might have done his reading and knows I like big red fatties because we've had some interesting red cards so far with the Goblin and this guy. I know we said it for nearly every card, but the art on this one is brilliant as well.
Well, if we're getting like theme cards, hopefully you've got a busted counterspell coming up for me. That'd be lovely.
Or a spell blast, yeah. Let's see what's next.
Oh,
it's a land. This is exciting.
Oh, wow!
Coral Reef. It's a chaotic land, a forest island. Play Coral Reef only if you control no Coral Reef. Oh, interesting.
So it's a bit like a legendary jewel land almost.
Yeah, and hot off the press, I've got some errata, so it can tap for both green and blue. It's not a basic, and things that affect basics don't affect it. Apparently, according to the errata.
Okay.
So basically, it's tropical island, but.
So it's like a sort of non-basic. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, and that's a point actually that's made on the Chaos History. It's an attempt to fix enemy colour multi-lands. Had it been designed off the Legends, it may have been legendary. Yeah.
Because of course, although if you like, that would be if you had those in Alpha, it'd be like a neat fix. The reality is once you've got your 4 drops, this is just like a 5th drop.
Yeah.
So it makes all those multi-lands even stronger. You could probably splash a couple of legendary ones.
Yeah.
Really interesting. Wow, what a beautiful art, and I mean, what a
I really like that.
Powerful card.
That make a nice proxy for a tropical island as well.
Yeah.
Okay. Next up,
Crown of Bone. So 3 colours is an artifact. I think it's the first artifact we've had. And so whenever a black spell resolves, you gain 1 life. Okay. So it says here, so obviously sort of comparison with Throne of Bone from Alpha. Chaos History's alternate take on Alpha's Throne of Bone would eventually become Darksteel's Lucky Charm, Demon's Horn. and sort of very demonic, sort of some sort of demonic armor in the foreground of the artwork there. Wow, kind of not sure it's really see much play, but certainly sort of very flavourful and sort of in the kind of lore of Magic. You know, you've got to have these, like, presumably there's a cycle of these.
Yeah, I've always felt like I've always had a bit of a soft spot. I think a lot of people have for like Throne of Bone and Crystal Rod, because like when you're a kid playing like Revise for the first time, they're like really exciting.
Well, and as in the Alpha, in the Wizard Tournament too, obviously Ivory Cup put pay to Wiseman's Juggernauts. I mean, that was a glorious moment. Yeah, and I've gained a few life off an Alpha Iron Star in my time, although it was borrowed from you. But I gained the life. So interesting. Well, I'm pleased to see that this run's continuing, and it's nice rather than just being a set of all busted cards. It's nice that it's a real mix of stuff.
Yeah, not every card can be. We're pleased to see that.
That is an absolutely spectral, beautiful swamp. Absolutely kind of haunting little trees and sort of swampland there. That's a really beautiful bit of art.
I note that that's come after some uncommons as well, so maybe they're keeping up the tradition of putting lands on the rare and uncommon sheet, which I think is a great tradition.
I mean, I love what Mike has done here, but we've certainly been. I mean, we've got a pretty soft uncommon in Crown of Bone. We've got the swamp, so hopefully we've got some good rares and mythics coming up to the payoff.
It's great. Okay, cool. So Solar Flare or red and white, my favourite colour combination. Chaotic Enchantment.
Here we go.
When Solar Flare enters the battlefield, you draw 11 cards, and each opponent draws 10 cards. Each player's maximum hand size is increased by 3. Wow. Talk about re-upping your deck.
That's Contract from Below is no longer the most busted draw card in Magic. I mean, that's madness.
I can see a synergy with natural defences, not natural defences, with our Mystic Spirit, because of course this enchantment would stick around. Although I think by the time you've drawn 11 cards, you're not too bothered about your Mystic Spirit getting +1/+0.
Yeah, I think this is. It's just flat out chaotic. There's no other word for it. I mean, what?
Actually, is it so different from Wheel of Fortune in a way? Like Wheel of Fortune is you draw 7, your opponent draws 7. All that happens is you don't discard your hand, neither do they, which is one of the good things about Wheel of Fortune, obviously.
Yeah.
And it's relatively symmetrical in that way, and then you get a bit of mini library of Leng. I don't know. I mean, it's very good. Is it busted? Got some errata. Players cannot decline to draw the cards. If for some reason a player is prevented from drawing cards, the other players will still draw cards. So I guess what was it? Chains of Mephistopheles might be interesting with this one.
Yeah, or if you've got a really greedy, maybe you've got through Thorgar's the Huge, so you can get some black in your deck as well. And you've got Underworld Dreams. I mean, that's pretty much the win on board right there. Drop of Solar Flare, boom, job done. Maybe Brother Scott could get that in his Underworld Dreams decks.
Yeah, I'd like to see him try. Anyway, that is a card that's definitely catching my imagination. Good bit of fun. Photo by NASA as well, which is very exciting. All right, well, another gold one.
Okay, so here we've got Mass Resurrection. Obviously, immediately my thoughts go to Resurrection from Alpha. So this is a green and a white and 2, a Chaotic Sorcery. So another Chaotic card.
I think this is rare, or is it mythic?
I think this might be a mythic. I mean, this could be our first mythic. Wow. So Solar Flare was rare. A mere rare. So this is our first mythic. So Chaotic Sorcery. All creature cards in your graveyard come into play under your control. Okay, so you bring back all your creatures. When each such creature enters the battlefield, target opponent draws a card and gains 10 life. Wow.
Whoa. That's a pretty hefty drawback on that.
That's like, I like the sound of the first part, and the second part, I was like, wow, that's you better be reanimating some, Colossus of Sardia, Nicole Bolas, and maybe some Dorgars the Huge, just to get some mileage out of that. That's pretty punchy.
You'd really only want to be bringing back the absolute best. It reminds me a bit of Living Death from Tempest?
Tempest, yeah.
Yeah, I played in a sealed deck, and I received 1 Living Death in the starter and 1 Living Death in the booster. So I had 2 Living Deaths in a limited deck, which was pretty memorable. I just think that drawback is pretty punchy.
Well, maybe I guess you'd have to. Yeah, I mean, maybe the only way this could really work, because if they're gaining 10, basically your win con can't be doming the opponent. It would have to be like some sort of like some sort of combo, maybe like, I don't know, like stuff with Ali from Cairo,
Yeah.
or if you have the Durin Enchantress, you'd have to have some alternative win condition, like Old Men of the Sea or something like that.
Could you play a lot of walls and
Yeah.
then when they die, just bring them all back and hide behind them again? Maybe with a millstone, yeah.
Yeah, maybe something like that.
That's a bit different.
It's interesting.
Okay, we're only got 2 cards left, sadly. I'm really getting into this. It's like opening new product, right? Oh, looks punchy. Stream of Consciousness.
Oh.
2 green and a blue. It's Mano's favourite colour, enemy colour combination. Chaotic Enchantment. Each artifact is an artifact creature with base power and toughness, each equal to its converted mana cost. So this is a card after Brother Ben's heart because it's quite similar to Titania's Song.
Titania's Song, yeah. There we go.
Oh yeah, sorry, Chaos History. A similar design appeared in Antiquities as Titania's Song. So,
Right.
Is it more or less a functional?
I think it's the same ability, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
But it's green and blue, so
it's slightly harder to cast. Cool.
Yeah.
But I suppose it's like a fifth. I mean, it's like a fifth.
Yeah,
Titania's
fifth
Song.
Would you ever play 5?
I mean, Ben might.
Yeah, Ben might. Yeah. That's good fun and interesting artwork as well. And the last, it looks a bit like a Terminator.
Yeah.
And the last card
All right.
on the reveal, so probably another mythic.
Wow. So this is Felice of Many Colours. So 5 mana artifact creature construct. So it's a 1/1. So this feels a bit like almost like a Masticore or some of these cards.
That shapeshifter.
Yeah. So for a blue, the construct gains flying. For a red, it gets +1 power. For a white, it gains +1 toughness. For a black, gains trample. That's quite interesting for blacks. Get trample.
It's a bit out of the colour pie.
And then green is regenerates. So that's quite interesting. That's got some. You probably could. It's a shame. So you could go in a control deck, but what you'd really want is that kind of morphling, kind of gains shroud, or like can't be targeted by spells or abilities.
Phases out. Something to make it escape.
But that's got some work. You know, that's like, I mean, for example, is that better than? Like, how does that compare to something like Suchi or Juggernaut? You know, similar kind of mana cost artifact creatures. There's a bit of like flex there. I guess you've got to be into all the colours to really make it work.
Yeah, I mean, if you compare it with like Primal Clay or Urza's Avenger, I think what's the best 2 abilities there? Probably flying and fire breathing, right?
Or maybe Well, you need to pump it. Yeah, probably. All that regenerate's not bad.
But I mean, if it was just flying and fire breathing, right? And so you have like 6 mana down, that means you can make, a kind of 5/1 flyer if you pump it. Whereas like, for Shivan is 1 more, and that's 5/5 all the time with fire breathing.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And not an artifact. I think for me, this one probably depends a lot on the broader set. If there's lots of easy ways, as I think there probably are, of making like a splash for different mana, then I think it has a bit more. But 5 is a pretty punchy cost. Still a very interesting looking card.
Yeah.
Well, that was our booster.
There we go.
Spectral
Chaos.
Thanks to Micah for putting it together and sorting us out. Thank you to obviously for Barry, who was obviously designed the set. Thanks to all the people that helped Micah, Keith, Misprint Guy. That's a real fascinating thing to look at.
Yeah, well, I hope you've enjoyed this pack opening.
Thanks for tuning in, guys. Take care.